never ending. Yeah, it feels heavier now. I can see it's smaller. Okay, definitely heavier. Whoa, chunky. This is the front of the case. This is the back of the case. We can still attach the thermostat into here and into here, as you would the same on the aluminium boilers. You can see that this is like quite a square shape, whereas this is open a bit more, so a little bit more capacity as well. The same size on the outsides, different sizes on the inside. So this boiler should help to elevate my machine. It should mean better heat stability, but also it will take a lot longer for this to deteriorate over the years in comparison to this. Smoothness wise, I got this so smooth before, I would even say that this aluminium here is smoother than this brand new brass, but that will be smooth enough to just go straight on. Obviously, because it's brass as well, it's so much easier to see inside. This one is shadowed and grey, and the other one, and the brass, is nice and golden. So cleaning wise, you can see any issues come up there much easier. Hopefully this will fix the sediment issue I was having, and will also mean that the heavy metal strips will come back the same from the zero water and the water coming out of the group head, but we'll see later on. First is, I'll take my therm.
It's important where you attach these thermostats, as you could end up doing serious damage to your machine components, like I did if you mess this up. Yes, I cracked my three-way solenoid valve. The thermostat with 145C on it is the steam thermostat. This goes on the top of the boiler and often has a red dot on it to help differentiate it further from the brew thermostat. The thermostat with 107C on it is the brew thermostat. This goes on the bottom left-hand side of the boiler.
Brass on brass. Just going to give these a little crank. And that's ready now to go in. Obviously once this has been secured on. So I'm going to go in a pattern where I go diagonals like this. I'm going to get my ridiculously long, humorously long T-bar hex tool. Just going to give them a little tighten in a diagonal pattern, but I think I might give them kind of a full tighten once they're in the machine and I have more leverage. That's ready to go. Very heavy now. Try not to drop this. Yeah, this is now quite heavy. And because I'm interested, that's at 0. Yeah. The scale turned off. It's too heavy for this scale. It's got to be like a kilo or 2. Now I've got to carefully, without destroying anything, put this into here. This will be fun. I also need to remember which way all of these connections go because I've completely forgot now. So Sophie has kindly let me borrow her phone so I can see the diagram of all the numbers of where all the connections are. I want to try and put these two, and I guess preferably 8 and 9 in before it goes all the way in, because that will make it easier. So I want to get a solid hold of this. Ooh, interesting. This hasn't screwed in as far as it does on the aluminium one. Okay, it's getting heavy. It's going to go for that one, and that one for that one. And 8 and 9. 9 in. You probably can't see any of this anyway, because my hand's probably in the way. But I'm just putting these connections into the 3-way solenoid valve. I've put them into the thermostat. And now I'm going in. Just going to push. Cool. So that's basically in position. Would be good if they were on a 4mm Allen key ready. Come on, stand it. Once the first one of these is in, I can get another hand back, kind of. Maybe first 2. Right. This does need a clean whilst I'm here. Okay, so now I'm going to do diagonals. So up here, then the bottom one down here, then this top one, and then the one down there. Just so that it's even pressure. I'm not going mental again with this. I'm just checking that it's in. So I've got my diagram here, just going through it now. This is a 6, it like comes back on itself. That's perfect. I'm going to push this through here. That part of it sitting on that bit there. So that's this screw. I think this will require putting the screw on the Phillips first, putting it in, maybe even locating this bit. And the pump's on, so I'm going to lift this up. Just cool, it's all connected. Right, so the last bit to do now is just attach this module back in. So I'm just going to push that back in there. There are 2 screws to screw the top on, but I'm going to leave them off at the moment because I just want to test that there's no leaks now after putting it back together. But there you go. I want to get on with buying coffees and trying new things, and even though it's late, I just thought, why not fill this a little bit and do a few more heavy metals tests now I've got the brass boiler in. See if we're getting the same level of heavy metals through at the end. So let's give that a go. To get water in the boiler first, which means I need to take it through the steam wand. So I'm just going to open this fully and then turn each of these on all together. I'm getting water through there now. Let's do a test. So 30 seconds in. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5. That looks light to me. You can normally tell, I've noticed. So I don't know if you can see, that's quite yellowy. And on the back there, see, it's quite orangey. So it basically hasn't changed. If I compare it to these results here, yeah, it's very similar to the Brita and the tap water. But the only way to know for sure if this has worked is to do it multiple times. That's the only way, because I had a few random ones where it was a bit lighter each time before. And then I think before I'm super happy, we'll do a taste test, but a proper taste test, a blind one, where I'll get Sophie to mix the bowls up. 22 Mississippi, 23 Mississippi, 24 Mississippi, 25 Mississippi. Still showing up as higher in heavy metals at the moment. It'll be a bit frustrating if the heavy metals tests come back similar, because I was hoping, obviously, that it would come back a lot better with the new boiler, and that would have been the issue, and that would have been the issue fixed. But it doesn't appear to be at the moment. The cup's getting hot. I'm not certain the cup's any cleaner either, because I can still see bits at the bottom of this cup. So if I do use the TDS meter again,
I was doing some ppm tests as I purchased a ZeroWater jug which comes with a ppm meter. ppm stands for parts per million. These ppm meters tell you the total parts per million in any body of water you insert it into. What I had started doing here was taking ZeroWater at 0 ppm and putting it through my machine, then checking on the other side if it was still 0 ppm or not. And it turned out to be higher in ppm after it passed through the machine. So this was just another indicator to me that the water was picking up something when passing through the machine. I should also add a disclaimer here. Water without any minerals like ZeroWater, 0 ppm, should not be used directly in your machine, usually. This is pretty much just as bad as adding water high in minerals. Water that is too low in minerals, i.e. a low ppm, will cause corrosion in your machine. Water that is too high in minerals, i.e. a high ppm, will cause scale buildup in your machine. I was using 0 ppm water here purely for testing purposes, and then replaced the water as soon as I could. Water is a massive subject when it comes to coffee, and I'm not going to go over it in this video, but I will link some great videos on water in the description.
It's at 0 now. It's between 3 and 4 parts per million. That's showing us high in heavy metals again, higher than the other filters. Bit of a shame on the readings, but at the moment it's still showing us heavy, so I don't know what the issue is. It'd be interesting to test it on a brand new model, but obviously I don't have access to a brand new model. Maybe I'll flush through a lot more tomorrow and see if I can get rid of any bits that might still be in there. Interesting, I'm not sure where these bits could be flaking off from, to be honest. It doesn't make a load of sense, because these pieces in here, they are grey and silvery in colour, and the only places that were like that would be the aluminium, but they could be very small flecks of copper, brass, I don't know. I didn't see any of the pitting really in any other parts of the machine, so it's quite strange if bits are coming off in here. I don't really know what to do about that. I guess I could try and isolate it. I could potentially remove the connection to the OPV valve from the pump and run water through that part just to isolate that and check that bit. And it's going to hit the boiler, which is inside the pump, and the pump looked clean. I can't see why it would be producing small bits of sediment. It appears that it is at the moment, which is a shame. But so I've decided I might take everything apart, check inside this new brass boiler, the 3-way solenoid valve, check if there's any sediment buildup in there. I feel like it was perhaps coming from the boiler before, and the pipes that come from the pump look very clean. So the only place that I can really think of that might have an issue down to here might be the 3-way solenoid valve. I'm also going to take off the shower screen and the dispersion plate, because that could be trapping some sediment or something behind there, and I don't really need that for the test because I know it won't be coming from that point. So that will just remove something for me. So take out my tool and just unscrew my shower screen. There is a piece of something behind there. The dispersion plate is a 5mm Allen key. There we go. This brass already appears to have tarnished, which is mad. Give this a wipe under here, and then using this brush part, just brush the group head. Can't see anything on here or any bits down below, so I assume show you this. Oh my god. Oh, wow, okay. I didn't think this through. The reservoir's still open, still got water in. Jesus, wow. I didn't think there was much water left in there. Turns out there was. Dear. Always take this out. Always take your reservoir out. Oh look, it's quite empty now. Small measuring jug. Put the steam 1 turny thingy back on. And then the water's going to come out of here, so turn this upside down and just open the steam wand. There we go. Here's some water coming out.
I proceeded to take apart the boiler from the group head, the 3-way solenoid valve and the OPV valve to check for sediment buildup. I had already checked the pump previously since running the machine, and there was nothing in there. My thinking was, if there was sediment or coffee granules stuck anywhere, it would be between the group head and the 3-way solenoid valve.
Because since we were having issues before, so I think the only thing I can check now, there's nothing obvious that was producing sediment. So I think now the only thing that we can do is just to run the Gaggia descaler through everything, because the only pipes I can't really see in this one, but I know that was brand new, and that's it pretty much. That, and the only pipes I can't really see in is everything that's inside here. That basically the small channel that goes from this 3-way solenoid valve to these, that's the only part that I can't view, but I can't imagine there would be a lot in there. Now, there could be gunk in there, there could be gunk stuck in there, but I can't imagine I wouldn't be able to flush it out. The particles are very small in the cup, but hopefully the descaling will sort it out. But we'll give that a go now anyway. So the ones that I want to connect, the OPV valve electrical connections and this thermostat down here. I know that the thermostat down there, I think is 10 and 11. And then we have 8 and 9. I'll do a descale now using the Gaggia Classic official descaler called a Decalsifier. Contains lactic acid, causes severe skin burns and eye damage, so don't put it in your eye. Empty the whole of the descaler solution, which is 250 milliliters, into the reservoir. Now, you probably can create your own solution, but even James Hoffman mentions in his maintenance video that Gaggia specifically says to use their descaler, but other machines he would be happy to use like a citric acid solution. And then fill to the max line up here with water from my Zero. Now I need to fill to 300 milliliters, which is here. So flick all of these on. Open the steam one. There we go. It's coming out now. So we go to 300 milliliters here. There we go. That's 300 milliliters, and now I leave it for 20 minutes just to soak into the boiler and all the other parts. Now I need to do 300 milliliters through this, then leave it 3 minutes until all of the descaling solution has essentially gone. I would like to put some descaler through here as well, through the group head, so I might do 300 ml through here, leave it 3 minutes, and then do 300 ml through here, leave it 3 minutes, and alternate, and then rinse them through. One full tank through this, and one full tank through this. 300 milliliters through there. Let's smell a little bit of something. The solution. That's pretty clear. Right, I'm going to dump this, leave it 3 minutes, and then come back and run it through the group head. So I'm going to do 300 ml through this, 300 milliliters, and then I'll wait 3 minutes. So interesting. I didn't know that's where it came from. I thought it came through those where the bolts went for some reason. That's 300 milliliters here. Just going to let that drain off and then wait 3 minutes. I just can't see where the sediment would be coming from, but I can't see any in there. Got a bit more left to go. Looking at that, it does make me think that perhaps I need to perform a proper backflush, because I haven't been able to shoot water pressure through that section between the group head and the three-way solenoid valve, and it's only gone through relatively slowly, to be honest, with the Descaler. It could be that perhaps I just need to do a backflush